Hey everybody, I'm Jesse, and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks. And today I'm going to talk about conspiracy theories and debunking. I was messing around with Grok a little bit, and Grok is an AI, a large language model, and it just, gives you information. It scans the internet. It basically scans the internet and reads articles and cranks out in maybe 10 seconds what would take us, 4 or 5 hours to research. So it's just a lot faster when you want to look stuff up. And I was just curious about the conspiracy theories of the last 10 years. So I typed in there, what are the 10 biggest conspiracy theories of over the last 10 years? And the answers weren't very surprising. Some of them I'm not real familiar with. I don't go down every single rabbit hole. But the information that it gave me with each conspiracy theory was surprising. And I'm going to go through each conspiracy theory, touch on them a little bit, talk about them, and explain the conclusion that I've come to from this little research experiment I did. So number one is QAnon. A claim that a secret cabal of satanic, cannibalistic pedophiles, including top Democrats and Hollywood elites, runs a global child sex trafficking ring and conspired against Donald Trump. An anonymous figure Q posts cryptic messages to guide followers. All right. And it says it emerged on 4chan in 2017. Gained millions of followers, influenced the January 6th Capitol riot, and the status of it, it's been debunked, no evidence of a cabal, and persists among fringe groups. All right, so that whole thing, that whole list, top Hollywood Democrats and elites, runs a sex trafficking ring, and all that, that's been completely debunked. That's just not happening. They've scanned the earth from top to bottom, spent billions of dollars on, on undercover agents and investigating wiretaps, satellite tracking, all the whole big deal, and it's been debunked. It's just nothing. It's a ghost. It's completely false. Or, that's what I get from that. I mean, how else could you debunk that? How could you debunk that? How could you say that I've investigated, you had to say I investigated every single Democrat and every single Hollywood elite, and none of them are pedophiles. Not one of them. All right? So, but it's debunked. Debunked, not true. So let's move on. Number 2, COVID-19 as a bioweapon or a hoax, which I'm not supposed to talk about this, but I'm just reading off the internet, but I don't know if YouTube cares. They might take this video down. The claim, the virus either deliberately created in a lab in Wuhan by China or the U.S. or is a complete fabrication to control populations via lockdowns and vaccines. It was amplified by geopolitical tensions and early uncertainty about the virus's origins. Impact has fueled anti-vaccine movements, mistrust in public health measures. 30% globally believe that the virus was deliberately spread. Status. Lab leak hypothesis remains unproven. Original origin is supported by scientists. Hoax claims are baseless. All right. So the natural origin of the virus is supported by scientists, and hoax claims are baseless. So they haven't gone all the way to debunking this one yet. This is the newest one, of course, the newest big one. So, but basically all the scientists are saying, not all, most scientists are saying that it's just bullshit, right? Number 3, I've never heard this one before. And I mean, I've heard kind of about it, but never this specific thing, that 5G causes COVID-19. Never heard that before. 5G networks spread the coronavirus or cause other health problems like cancer via electromagnetic radiation. All right. Now, this one, I don't know. Part of this, I don't know if it, I don't know if it can cause cancer or do things to our body. Everything is vibrational. I mean, science has proven that everything is vibrational. We vibrate on frequencies. Every atom, every electron, they're just vibrational fields. We know this now. So to say that one vibrational field might affect another, I mean, that's all that claim is, that 5G networks could cause health problems. That's just saying that one vibrational field can affect another. I mean, that just makes sense. That's just common sense to me. So I'm not going to go so far as to say that it causes cancer. I'm not going to say that, but to say it has an effect, some kind of effect, it can, then yeah, I'm open to that. I'm open to it. But now to say that it spreads the coronavirus, I don't know, that's a little out there for me. This is one of the ones where I believe that they're injecting just weird kooky shit in there to make everybody sound crazy. You know what I mean? Make everything sound wackadoo. All right, moving on. Oh wait, has this one? Oh yeah, this has been completely debunked by authorities. The 5G thing, completely debunked by authorities. 2020 U.S. election fraud. Number 4, claim that the 2020 presidential election was stolen from Donald Trump via rigged voting machines, fake ballots, or foreign interference. All right. The impact is 53% of Republicans believe that voting machine fraud occurred. Status. Basically, it's been debunked. No credible evidence. Multiple audits in courts, including Trump-appointed judges, confirm Biden's win. All right. Chemtrails. Number 5. Airplane are dumping chemicals in the sky, making these weird-looking clouds, these straight clouds that we don't remember. That's another. Maybe that's a Mandela effect. They had all these vapor trails in the sky, these straight ass clouds in the sky, but we just don't remember them. They've been Mandela affected out of our memory, I guess. All right. Impact persists online with communities on X and YouTube. Status debunked. Contrails are water vapor and exhaust. That's it. No evidence of chemical spraying. Period. Number 6, Pizzagate. Washington, D.C. pizzeria, Comet Ping Pong, was a front for a Democrat-run child sex trafficking ring. All right. And status, no evidence, thoroughly debunked. Number 7, Flat Earth. Claim the Earth is flat and NASA is under a cover-up or involved in a cover-up. Impact. Small but vocal online communities are talking about it. Status. Debunked. Overwhelming scientific evidence proves that the Earth is a globe. 8. Climate change hoax. Now, this is another one that I specifically am not allowed to talk about, so we'll see what happens. The claim is that climate change is a fabricated crisis by governments or elites to impose taxes, control populations, or profit from green energy. All right. And the impact is denial. 97% of scientific consensus on human-driven warming slows climate policy progress. That's what the conspiracy theory is doing. They're slowing climate policy progress, right? Status. Debunked. It's backed by, climate change is backed by decades of data. All right. Just decades, not, they don't, now other scientists have shown that CO2 levels have been double and triple what they are now in past eras of the Earth, but back in the last few decades is the only thing that the climate change scientists are talking about, but that's been debunked as well, the climate change thing. Hunter Biden laptop. A laptop allegedly belonging to Hunter Biden contains evidence of corruption, foreign deals, crimes covered up by the FBI and media. No evidence of major crimes. No charges against Joe Biden, so that's been debunked as well, even though Joe Biden pardoned him. There was no evidence of any crimes. So that makes me wonder why he was pardoned. But anyway, Wuhan lab leak. I guess that's just a spin-off of the other one. Number 10 here. COVID-19 was engineered. The claim is that COVID-19 was engineered or accidentally leaked from a lab in Wuhan, possibly a U.S. or China-backed bioweapon. All right. No evidence. The status of it, no evidence. Natural origin, still favored by most virologists, remains a topic of legitimate debate, unlike others listed. Okay. So here, number 10, that is a topic of legitimate debate, but the other 9 have been completely debunked. Okay. So, with the exception of number 10, now they just haven't debunked it yet, in my opinion. All the rest of them have been debunked thoroughly debunked. No shred of proof. No, they've dug and researched and investigated and come up with a big fat 0 on every single one of those. Now, my question, this just brings up this huge question in my mind. Who is doing this debunking, right? Who's the debunker? Who are the debunkers? Who is actually investigating this stuff? Why is all other evidence ignored? Why is all evidence to the contrary, right? Why is this stuff ignored? Why don't we see this stuff, actual debates on this stuff about, presenting both sides and let us decide for ourselves? Why do they just let this stuff persist and go into the conspiracy theory realm? Why don't they have real investigative reports on this stuff, going through and explaining why? Okay, why is that Pizzagate thing a big hoax, and why has it been debunked? They show all they say is that there's no evidence, right? There's no evidence for that. Okay, there's a couple things there. Number one, you might not have looked very hard, because maybe it might put you in danger, or maybe it was more profitable not to find anything. Lots of reasons not to look very hard, right? Number two, maybe in some of these cases, for some of these conspiracy theories, evidence was found, but it was covered up. It was hidden. It was classified. And speaking of that, Trump ordered the JFK documents declassified. They still haven't done it. It's up to this point, as far as I know. I checked yesterday, the day before, something like that, and they still haven't declassified that shit. And if they ever do, it's going to be so redacted, I'm telling you, that we're not going to be any wiser after knowing what they allowed us to know. So, but anyway, that's the kind of shit we're dealing with. So they can classify any evidence that they find and just hide it, just sweep it under the rug. And their batting average is, I mean, like 999 right now, because they haven't quite debunked that last one, but the last one with the Wuhan thing, that was wrapped up in I think the second one, the COVID thing, and it was debunked up there, but then they split it off down there and they said it's still under debate. It's still debatable. So that's not saying they haven't debunked, they're not going to debunk it here in the next few months or whatever, you know. But they're letting that one rattle on for a little while, I guess, before they come out and just flat debunk it. I don't know. But if they do debunk that last one, then they're batting 1,000, 100%. Now, not one of these things, we're being told, not one of them has any credibility. They're just all just made up. People just making shit up out there. The government is a big fluffy teddy bear who just loves you. These corporations just love you to death. They would just fold up. Pfizer would just fold up and go out of business rather than harm me or my family for profit. That's ridiculous to think so. It's ridiculous to think any government or corporation would try to make a virus. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's stupid. I mean, I'm stupid. I would be if I was that kind of person. I would be stupid to even consider that. To even ask that question is stupid. Would a government or a corporation make a virus? I mean, that's just ridiculous. It's been thoroughly debunked. Are there pedophiles in the government and in Hollywood? Oh my goodness, no. That's been thoroughly and scrupulously debunked. Now, we've got two P. Diddy and Epstein. They were locked up, and only one of them isn't with us anymore, supposedly. And nobody was arrested. They had no clients. Nobody charged with anything. They just did their thing on their own, I guess. And they wouldn't say a word. Those two were just rock solid, right? They're old, 60s, 50s, and 60s gangster level. Don't rat. They're not gonna rat. No, hell no. They wouldn't give up a name. No. That would be, they died. They'll die with that information because they're that solid. You know what I mean? If they existed, if those people, their customers or whatever, their clients even existed, which is ridiculous to think that. They didn't have any clients, right? No. It's been debunked. All of these things are 100% debunked. They're ridiculous. Nowhere else in our experience, in my entire life, has the government and these corporations and been so perfect absolutely perfect, except when debunking conspiracy theories. That is the only time that they are absolutely infallible. And through my entire lifetime, that's one thing that hits me as it just sticks in my head, is that all the mistakes, all the crazy shit, all the stuff that these governments and these corporations do, the only place that they are 100%, I mean absolutely perfect and infallible, is when they're debunking these conspiracy theories. Then they never miss the mark. Never, ever. They're never wrong. They're absolutely correct 100% of the time. Now, that makes me question things. That right there. When you prove yourself to be bumbling and inept in every other category, trying with the economy, the healthcare system, everything else, you just can't get shit right. You can't agree with your brethren across the aisle. You can't get a bill signed. You can't do anything right except destroy the economy and debunk conspiracy theories. Those are the two things that you are just, you're Robin Hood, right? You hit the mark every time. So that makes me question, that brings questions into my mind about these conspiracy theories. Even the flat earth. How can they say flat earth has been debunked? Did the debunker fly into space? Did the debunker pull a Katy Perry and go into space and look down and say, hey, it's debunked? Something to think about. I mean, who is the debunker? That's my point. Who's doing the debunking? And what are their motives? What are their agendas? And this whole article I read from Grok, well, not article, but Grok's answer to me on this, that really just makes me question the government and all this stuff even more. Telling me absolutely this has been 100% debunked. That makes me distrust the government and the media and all this stuff even more, because not one of these has been proven true. Not one of these, never have they gone in and said, oh, well, there's something to this one here. We got something here. No, every single time conspiracy theorists are called idiots and just making shit up. We're told they're just making shit up, right? They're just fantasy. They're living in a fantasy world with their tinfoil hats. 100% of the time. Never, not once have they sided with the conspiracy and said, hey, we maybe they're onto something. We actually need to investigate this stuff. We need to press some charges. We need to bring some people into court here and do some shit. No, it's just debunked. Even though with the contrails, the government, I think in Tennessee, has outlawed that shit. Why would a whole government, a state government, go through the process of outlawing something that doesn't exist? So the government of, I might be misremembering here. It might not be Tennessee, but that's just the one that popped into my head just now. But the entire government of a state like Tennessee passed a law against something that doesn't exist. That kind of stuff, right? And Epstein had an island out there to cater to people who didn't come, who don't exist. Had an entire island. Nobody came there. He had this elaborate thing out there with sex trafficking stuff, but nobody showed up. All of his friends with the pictures with Bill Clinton and Bill Gates and all these different people, they didn't have anything to do with it. None of that stuff. It's all been debunked. So y'all can quit worrying about it. Just go back to sleep. Whatever you were doing, go back to your nap, go back to work, whatever, because it's all been debunked. It's all ridiculous. And I'll leave you there with that. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and comment. If you'd like to support the channel by becoming a member, I'll leave that link down in the description, or you can head over to the channel page and become a member that way. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can do so by clicking on that super thanks button down there. Or you can head over to Buy Me a Cup of Coffee and buy me a cup of coffee. I appreciate those of you who do that. Thank you very much, and I'll leave that link down in the description too. If you're interested in Gen X gear, we got some pretty cool stuff over there at Redbubble. Gen X Thinks and Gen X branded stuff, t-shirts, coffee mugs, stickers, all kinds of cool stuff. But if you're interested in that kind of stuff, I'll leave that link down in the description as well. If you can't or don't want to support the channel in any of those ways, you can always do so by sharing these videos on your social media. That helps out a hell of a lot, so thank you very much to those of you who do that. I sincerely appreciate it. If you have any ideas for future episodes of Gen X Thinks, please put those down in the comments. Or you can email us, and the email is genxthinks@gmail.com. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.